He's developed a vaccine that could change the way the medical world fights cancer.
Well, we've been working on this vaccine for nearly 15 years now. This is all about a new way to treat cancer.
The vaccine is being prepared to be trialled on people with incurable throat, neck and head tumours caused by the papilloma virus.
This might give a second chance at life.
Come up with a similar instrument called the artificial eye. It is like a natural eye, both in look and performance. Its core component is a high-density arrangement of light-sensitive nanowires that serves as the retina. Research claims that this 3D artificial eye can bring the vision to humanoid robots and can be a new hope to people with visual impairments.
Global greenhouse gas emissions need to be slashed in half by 2030 and reach net zero around mid-century. The term net zero gets thrown around a lot these days, but what is it and how can we get there? Reaching net zero emissions requires us to do two things. First, we must reduce our emissions to as close to zero as possible, as quickly as possible. Second, we need to pull just as much carbon out of the atmosphere as we pump in. A number of countries have already committed to reach net zero emissions by 2050. And some nations are even more ambitious. For example, Norway plans to reach net zero by 2030, and Finland by 2035. In 2020, all countries should put forward stronger national climate commitments that put us on a path to collectively reach net zero emissions by 2050.
We're celebrating more good news. New research led by WHO and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine shows that together we have achieved the global target set in 2000 to reduce the prevalence of hepatitis B infections in children under 5 years of age to less than 1% by 2020.
Drops like these are as essential as ever. Even with the Civil War over, 7 million people, 60% of the population, is struggling to find food.
Climate change and conflict are just making a mess of the situation here.
Marwa Awad of Ottawa is one of dozens of Canadians working with the United Nations World Food Programme. To her, a Nobel Prize highlights the urgency of growing global hunger.
This Nobel Peace Prize comes at a very critical time when we're seeing the reversal of some of the achievements of the organization.
The World Food Programme uses the United Nations' political sway and logistics to bring aid to some of the most remote and dangerous parts of the world.
Through Discovery was made using SOFIA, the world's largest flying observatory. The modified Boeing 747 jetliner rises above 99% of the water vapor in the atmosphere and scans the moon's surface. These findings could change the way future missions work and the terrain astronauts will explore.
Potentially this could be a source of water for fuel, for obviously water that they can drink, and indeed oxygen for them to breathe. So it's a big resource implicator.
Learning all about water on the moon will be a key part of NASA's upcoming exploration.
A report by UN Women, Plan International, and UNICEF shows there have been some gains for women and girls, mainly in the areas of education, but it's not enough.
scientists around the world agree that the actions we take now will be critical to the final outcome. Our final outcome. We must act now to protect our world's national parks, tropical rainforests and animal sanctuaries, the last bastions for survival of species on Earth. By stopping human destruction, we will save our last critically endangered species.
Was based on her potential to catalyze a new era of plastic action across the continent.
Indonesia says it wants to start a nationwide campaign to educate people about the risks of plastic waste and stop retailers from handing out free plastic bags.
Vietnam's Prime Minister advocated for a plastic-free ocean and called for joint actions at the G7 forum held in Canada in